Hey, it's JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and jungle survival. Today, we're going to have a look at some Pakistan-made knives, and we'll discuss whether Pakistan can make high-quality, world-class knives. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, do check out my shop links in the pinned comment or description, and you can even join as a channel member. Thanks a lot. I know some people are of the opinion that knives made in Pakistan or certain countries just aren't good. They think it's garbage, they think it's junk, and they will not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Personally, I don't subscribe to such generalized beliefs. I do know for a fact that there are various countries that can make great knives, but bad knives can also come from those countries. And yes, while some countries might have a reputation of producing bad quality knives, that doesn't mean all knives coming from that country are bad. Well, specifically today we're talking about Pakistani knives, because you get a lot of these knives, especially on Amazon, Etsy, and through some dealers, even from, let's say, the US. So let's have a look at a Pakistan-made knife. Now, this is a fixed blade that was picked up recently, and I can tell you, if I didn't tell you this was a Pakistan knife and you weren't that familiar, I guess, with those makes, you'd think this is a really nice looking knife. Okay, I'm talking about visual aesthetics first. So it does come with a leather sheath. Now this leather sheath was, I would say, a general sheath, not exactly made for this knife, because there's a whole bunch of different knives. So really, it was a pick and choose kind of situation. But it's possible to wet form this so it's a more snug fit. Now I will say this about Pakistan sheaths. Their leather sheaths, I would say, generally are fair. I wouldn't call them great. Some are good, but generally I would say they're fair to poor. It really depends on the quality of the leather that they use, and of course the workmanship. Generally, I think the workmanship is fair or above average, but it's always the leather that, to me, always lets me down. For example, this is very nicely made, but like for this, the belt strap just feels a bit too thin and it feels a bit too dry, which feels that it could break very easily. So that's something to note about Pakistan leather sheaths in general, and they tend to make more leather style sheaths because all the knives are handmade. But let's have a look at this one. This is a Damascus steel knife. Now, some might actually doubt the authenticity, whether this is real Damascus. I would generally say yes. Of course, there can be fakes, so I'll say yes, but it's questionable what steel is used to form this Damascus steel. Now, I was told that there's D2 in this. I'm not too sure about that, but if I just look at the statistics, it's pretty nice. And if you look at the handle made from 3 different woods, I think that goes together very well. So in terms of the fit and finish, all that is really nice. And of course, when we look at knives that say from Pakistan, there's also that price point is generally a lower price point than handmade knives in other more established companies when it comes, or established countries when it comes to knife making. But if you can find a good piece like this, I think this is a pretty good piece in terms of the finishing, some of that detailing. You can see that file work on the spine, and then this is a full tang knife, which overall, that fit and finish is just great, I think. Then I think this is a solid buy, especially if you're not paying a premium price, so you're paying more of a budget price. So let's say this knife was $40 US. That's a great price, because you would never be able to get, I would say, a knife of this kind of detail for that price almost anywhere. Now, of course, we can go on to the functionality in terms of the durability of the blade, edge retention, corrosion resistance, toughness, and things like that. Well, for a particular knife like this, I personally won't use this, I think, out in the field for hard use. I do have knives which are built for that and tested for that. Yes, when you buy a Pakistan knife, I would say that to a certain extent, you do not really have that kind of specs to know exactly how hard you can push it. But of course, if you're going to use this for casual use, I'm more than certain and confident that this would hold it up. But if you're talking about going into the jungle, trying to survive and try to pry and do all sorts of things, yes, it may not hold up to that task. But when I'm buying a knife like that, I'm thinking at least in terms of maybe a collector's piece, or for decoration, or some really light use. right? So that's for this style of knife. Now I do have other Pakistani made knives, and I'll give you an example of one. This is a US designed but Pakistani made with US quality control, and this is the original tracker knife designed by Rob Russin. So here's an example of a great quality sheath. So this is made in Pakistan, but thick leather, fit and finish of course, really nice, and this works very nice. And this, I'm sure it's because it was handpicked by Russin, and quality control in terms of exactly what they wanted and how it should look like. So you can see with quality control, you can get a very good product. And in terms of the knife, so this is the Russin Tracker knife, micarta scales, D2 blade steel, the tracker pattern as designed by Russin. And if you want to know more about the history of this knife, do check out the video. I talked about this previously. Check out the link in the card above or description below. Now in terms of fit and finish, everything is great, and I would say really, again, because there was quality control. So just like, let's say, the Chinese earlier on, if they've got good quality control because they did a lot of OEM work for American companies, you get great quality from those makers. And I would say the same for Pakistan. So let's have a look at another tracker, also made in Pakistan. This is, I believe, just a Pakistani brand. So it's not a US brand, so it's their own kind of brand and quality control. Still very decent. Look at that. So nice sheath, well made, well designed, great thickness, not too dry. And in terms of the tracker pattern, also really nice. This is D2 steel as well. And I've reviewed this. You can check out that video in the link in the card above or description below. And I actually feel of all the inspired versions of the original Russin Tracker, this to me comes closest to the original design and at the fraction of the price. But made in Pakistan, fit and finish still excellent, and this has been field tested as well. But having said that, of course, you do get knives which aren't great, and this is one example. So this was bought from Amazon. I know it's Pakistani, not expensive, I think about $40 US. Sheath, again, workmanship, fair, but again, choice of leather just doesn't feel like it's gonna hold up over time. And in terms of the knife itself, again, fair, but in terms of design, there was no understanding, I think, in the design of the tracker pattern in how, like, for example, this gut hook was done. So this is done completely wrong. But in terms of fit and finish, it's still fine, but it just feels like the person who made it or designed this template or pattern didn't really understand the knife itself. This is supposed to be micarta scales. Yeah, could be the burlap style micarta scales. Doesn't look really aesthetically pleasing to me, but it's fine, so it's fair, so it still works out. But I wouldn't call this garbage, but yes, I wouldn't call this a great, excellent knife. So when it comes to Pakistan knives, I would say that if you're buying through a dealer who has actually vetted the knives and checked them out and maybe even tested them, I would think that you can actually get good quality fixed blades. Or if you happen to be at a trade show or at an event where the dealer or the seller is, in the case of this knife, I was physically present at the store and could check out all the different knives and kind of eyeball them, actually feel them as well before buying, then you could probably get a good purchase as well. So I will not say as a blanket statement that all Pakistan knives are bad, because I know for a fact that is not true. I did mention in this title that I'm talking about fixed blades, and I should mention, yes, I am more focusing on fixed blades. They do some folders, but I would say from all the folders I've seen so far, the fit and finish and quality cannot match up to other countries. For example, China would be light years ahead in terms of the quality of folding knives. But when it comes to fixed blades, because they are generally handmade pieces, and in terms of whether it's a full tang or stick tang construction, I think you can get good deals in terms of good quality product at a fair price. But let me know your thoughts. Do you have experience with Pakistani knives? Do you have positive experiences, negatives? Do you have any that you treasure, or have you just thrown them in the garbage? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.